Hello, welcome back for another video on ARK Survival Ascended. We're back on the center map, and today I'm going to showcase 30 brand new features that were added to the center map. Let's get straight into it. Kicking things off, we have an absolute game changer. When playing ARK Survival Evolved, when running the puzzle cave, if you use any creature that could climb, for example the Filer, you would automatically take massive health damage over time. Well, it seems that doesn't exist anymore, and you can happily run your Filer up the walls, chill out, stop for a break, take your time looting all the crates, and your Filer won't take any damage at all. And just to point out, we are still unable to use our grappling hooks, but this red crate up by the artifact spawns every time, so it's the easiest red crate you'll ever loot. So I'm definitely going to be running this cave a lot with my Filer. And while we're here at the puzzle cave, I will show you one of the many peculiar new features in this cave. This new room is pretty cool. It's right next to the puzzle cave. It is interesting. I wish there was a bit more in here, but can't really complain about new features like this when we compare to what was here in ARK Survival Evolved, which was absolutely diddly squat. Wildcard took everyone by surprise with the surprise release of the Pyromane along with the center map, which unfortunately is paid DLC and will cost you $5. It seems like a very strong creature, not really sure if it rivals the Shadowmane or not. It does seem to be immune to lava damage and maybe even fire attacks. Might be very strong in the Dragon Arena or run in the Alpha Tech Cave, who knows? I haven't had a chance to really use it yet. A new variant of Rare Flower Bush has been added to the center. So far I have found these in the West Lava Cave. So far I have only tested these out with the Ferroxenosaurus, which will gather a lot of rare flowers. And this is on 1x harvesting rates, by the way. There are a lot of these bushes in this cave. A second variant of Rare Flower Bush can be found in the East Lava Cave. It's really hard to pinpoint what they actually look like, as they just look like a boring standard bush. Admittedly nowhere near as many as the bushes from the West Lava Cave, but I found spamming the tickle attack through the clusters of bushes, you'll end up gathering quite a decent amount of rare flowers. Moving on, we have also had a rare mushroom variant of bush added. I also found these in the East Lava Cave. These are all nice additions, as I don't think bushes even existed in the ASE version. Skull Island is most likely one of the most popular, well-known features from any of the ARK maps. This is what it looked like in ASE. It's super iconic, and of course you could fly inside, farm a load of metal, load of crystal, has a big lava pool in the middle, and you could also fly directly up through the middle. And this is what it looks like in ASA. Don't get me wrong, it looks great, but this isn't a new map, it is the center remastered. It kind of reminds me of something I'd see in Pirates of the Caribbean or something, and I kind of was just expecting a replica of what we had in ASE, but with a massive facelift. I'm sure a lot of people love the new look, but this is just my opinion. Let's move on to the next. A lovely new land bridge has been added that spans across the ocean, joining one of the beginner islands to the half-dead island over the ocean. Now this is a change I'm a fan of. This is an awesome new feature, so it definitely adds some exciting new aspects of exploration and potential base locations. In ARK Survival Evolved there was nothing in this part of the ocean. Another awesome new map feature includes these tropical islands in the middle of the ocean, in between the lava island and the snow biome. I am a massive fan of this area. It is beautiful, and once again this will offer a load more potential base locations and new exploration aspects. And here's a little cheeky look at what it looks like in ARK Survival Evolved. It was pretty depressing, but this was the norm back in the day. As you can see, there was absolutely nothing in this part of the ocean. I'm sure most of you have probably seen this somewhere on YouTube, but yes, the boss fight arena has been completely changed. This is what it looked like in ARK Survival Evolved. This was actually one of the better looking boss fight arenas in those days, which is pretty impressive being as it was the second map to come to ARK. This is what it looks like in ARK Survival Ascended, which I do love the look of. It looks completely different. I do like the arena, but I did also like the previous arena too. It would have been cool to see that remastered also. But yeah, this arena is covered in water, and sadly you probably can't fight one boss at a time, and you'll have to fight them both because they spawn in the water and there's no way around it. And I'm also sure you have all seen the absolute masterpiece of a new feature in the boss arena. After beating the boss, you will be rewarded with a beautiful view of this talented architecture. Not only do you get rewarded beautiful views in the boss arena, but you also get rewarded with more element per boss fight. For example, beating both bosses on Alpha on ARK Survival Evolved would only reward you with 368 element. In ARK Survival Ascended, beating the bosses on Alpha will reward you with the same after killing the bosses, but also gives you a loot crate at the end, which you can loot for an extra 148 element, giving you a grand total of 516 element per Alpha boss fight. This is definitely a much needed change. Bear caves have been an important asset for many years on the center, whether that be for taming dire bears, farming resources, or PvP based locations. They have had a massive remaster in ARK Survival Ascended. They have shown some massive love for the larger caves, but I was hoping for them to change some of the smaller ones too, but that's just me being greedy. Harvestable bones can now be found all over Lava Island, which can be mined for raw salt. This is rather interesting, as I've looked everywhere around the map and I cannot find anything else that has been added from the Scorched Earth DLC. So if you do find anything like sulfur, let me know in the comments. It's no secret that the center is well known for its large oceans, which probably does have the deepest part of any ocean in the game. In ARK Survival Evolved, most of it was quite empty, in some parts only having creature spawns but nothing else. And I must say, the center's ocean remaster from ASA, which is probably the new feature that has impressed me the most, and by a long way. The attention to detail that has gone into the ocean is outstanding, and I do love an ocean that has loads of metal to be had. There is now so much metal down in the ocean that it makes the aberration map look scarce of it. I typically will steer away from the ocean, but the center's ocean looks so good and has far more to explore. It's enticing me in, and I'm definitely getting down there more often. So I've already mentioned it a few times, it's finally time to showcase Lava Island. This is how it looked in ASE, once again very iconic, due to its black sands, colourless rocks and cliffs, lava rivers running down throughout, a dark island with almost zero flora at all, where every tree is burnt to charcoal, but that is what gave it its identity. And this is how it looks in ARK Survival Ascended. Once again, just like Skull Island, it is beautiful, but this is Lava Island, man. Where's the black rocks? Where's the black sand? Where's my charcoal trees? Of course, this is just my own personal opinion, and it's not all bad news. After exploring the inner parts of the island, you will find loads of awesome caves and tunnel systems that were never there in ASE, including a second cave entrance to the East Lava Cave, which is still right next to the main one, but it's still a second entrance. There is a lot more to explore, but I do wish the whole island kind of looked like this. It would feel so much more like the center. The Shastasaurus, winner of the community creature vote for the center, has finally made its way to ASA, a very exciting new creature, a saddle that turns it into a submarine for you and your friends, which you can build in, where you can place down a wide variety of structures inside, and has a wide variety of cool abilities, one being its periscope, which is awesome. It works the same as the tech binoculars, where you can see creature stats. Before the Shastasaurus, the only way to unlock tech binoculars is by defeating the Alpha Overseer, which is insanely difficult, so it's a pretty good steal just for this fact alone. The center now has some of its own unique supply drops. I'm not sure as of yet if the loot tables are different from other supply drops of the same colour, but I might do a video on that later on. And yes, you can find high quality Shastasaurus saddles. I found this one in the ice cave in a yellow drop. Is it snow or is it sand? Scorched earth or snow biome? Who knows? For some strange reason, most of the snow biome is actually made up of sand. Admittedly, in ASE, the gap between the two snow mountains was more green than snow, but I always thought this was odd. I figured they might make it into one giant snow biome, as there's already the iceberg in the middle of the lake, with penguins spawning on top. But nah, let's add a load of sand and encase the iceberg. As you may have guessed, I'm not a fan of this change. Let me know in the comments what you think. There was a bit of speculation as to whether ARK Editions creatures will be found on other maps. Well, it looks like they most likely will, as the Ceratosaurus and the Surfactinus will naturally spawn on the center map. Also spawning is the Gigantoraptor, which was originally exclusive to Ragnarok, which they ended up sticking on the island because they couldn't meet their release dates. No idea what's happening there, but you can find them on the center. So this one is a very interesting discovery. This is the edge of the world barrier from the center map on ASE. And if we go over to ASA, you can see plenty of landmass in the distance. And if we go into ghost mode, you can go through the world barrier, not so detailed, yet kind of detailed for something outside of the world barrier, which could definitely make for a great map extension. I believe they did say that the center was going to be twice the size. It doesn't feel any bigger at the moment, so who knows, maybe it will be at some point. I doubt we'll be that lucky, but we can only hope. Another interesting find was discovering the remastered long dark tunnel that leads to the underground world. In ASE, the bridges run directly over a giant lava pit. But in ASA, they decided to ditch the lava pit, replacing it with a large lake. It doesn't seem any creatures spawn in here, and it doesn't seem to have any point of interest. There's nothing collectible or harvestable from what I've seen in the water, so it is quite an unusual change. The underwater bubbles have also received a nice remaster and a nice bit of TLC. The large underwater bubble was very empty in ASE, but let's take a look at the ASA version. It is a thing of beauty. There's much more detail, and it does seem much larger than the ASE version. But my favourite thing in this underwater bubble is this nice little ruin that they decided to add. It's super cool, and surprisingly, this is almost the only new ruin that got added to the centre. There is almost zero new ruin locations. Another little negative comparison here for me, this is the half-burnt island from ASE. It holds a special place in my heart. But ASA ripped my heart out, took away my black sand, and replaced it with a peaceful tropical island filled with dangerous carnivores. But on the plus point, this pointless island to the north actually looks pretty nice, and now isn't so pointless. I don't play PvP at all, but there are many new rat holes for all those solos and smaller tribes that want to stay under the radar. Every artifact cave has had a massive revamp. They are looking nice. I chose to use the 2 lava caves for comparison. In the ARK Survival Evolved Center version, the caves did have some basic detail, and I did really like the design of the caves. And I was a little worried at first, but they do look amazing in ARK Survival Ascended. And I'm more than happy to say that they kept their identity and character. The caves are a massive improvement, and I'm really impressed. And there's so many new things to explore, new resources being added. I also never thought I'd see the day that I would witness a pool of water in East Lava Cave. Speaking of pools of water and new resource locations, this one here is a perfect example. This is a location in the East Lava Cave. In ARK Survival Evolved, there was nothing but floor, which was home to a red loot crate spawn location. But in ARK Survival Ascended, that emptiness has been replaced by a beautiful little lake that is full to the brim of silica pearls. You can't complain about that. This waterfall area in ARK Survival Evolved was uninhabitable to say the least, and this is one of my favourite changes also. This is what it looks like in ARK Survival Ascended, completely remastered, loads of foliage, loads of trees, and plenty of landmass that you can build on and play around with. Crystal clear deep ocean when using the fog command. There was actually a command that can make water very clear back in the day, but I'm pretty sure they got it removed, and for me, removing the fog underwater really hurts my eyes. It's horrible to look at, and this is how it will usually look when you remove the fog. While in a lot of the areas in the center's ocean, when you use this command, the water is crystal clear. Typically the very deep parts of the ocean will appear this way. It's really nice, and I hope this is intended. Yeti babies can be found in both ice caves. I'm pretty sure I've never seen a Yeti baby on the island in the snow cave. I feel like I'm almost certain in saying that they came with the center map. Please do let me know in the comments if this is new. I mean, they still can be tamed, but it's pretty cool to see. And the final new feature is going to be the remastered cave in the Redwoods. I believe this was well known as the Megalania cave, and in ARK Survival Evolved it is quite a decent sized cave. In ARK Survival Ascended it looks like a whole different cave. It does look like a remaster from the front, but it has expanded in size massively. It's far deeper of a cave with a lot more character, and they have also added a bunch more metal nodes. You can also see that the Megalania do still spawn in here. And that is going to be the end of the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hopefully it's helpful to you, and if you did enjoy it, please consider liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing for more ARK content. There's plenty more, and there's plenty more to come, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.